Even modeling as a career, it has its own hardships. It's very hard to pinpoint what is genuine, what is not. My mother put me in every single field. I'm a professional dancer. I've gone to state skating hockey championship.
Fame, glamour, money. There's a flip side to it as well.
It is not exactly what it seems like from the outside.
Hello friends, today at Career Talks, we are talking about one of the unconventional career choices of modeling and pageant industry. And we have very talented Mehakk Dhingrra talking to us about modeling and pageant industry in details. At the same time, I want to congratulate her for winning Miss Teen of India, and in next 14 days, she's going to be participating in Miss Teen of the Universe, and I'm sure she's going to be participating in Miss India pageant very soon. So let's welcome her, Mehakk Dhingrra. Hi Mehak, how are you doing, bache?
Great, how are you, sir?
Very good. Thank you so very much. It's good to see you. I think you went through counseling with us like about 3 years ago.
Yes.
Great. So tell me, when you went through counseling with us, we talked about communication as one of your strengths, and we did say that, this could be one of the career choices. Uh, what was the thought process post counseling, and how did you go about selecting your subjects? And then maybe, after 12th, how has been the journey till now?
So I think definitely the counseling gave me a lot of clarity, and what the outcome of the counseling was also something that I could resonate with a lot, which was communication. There was also a suggestion about psychology, which was also something that I took up. So during that process, I think I knew during the stream selection process that I was not going to take up science, only because I was not interested in those subjects, but I was confused between commerce and humanities, which was honestly only because of the myth that revolves around humanities, that only people who do not want to study take up humanities. But after taking the counseling session, I think definitely it gave me a lot of clarity that the subjects that humanities consists of is what I actually like. And of course, communication, it has become one of my strengths throughout those years. So definitely a huge credit of that goes to the counseling.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Bache. So, you were happy the subjects you picked up, you were doing really well in 11th and 12th. So, post 12th, what was the thought process? What were the career choices that you were looking at, and how did you go about it?
So, I definitely think that after 12th, I knew I had a lot of clarity because of my past experiences in modeling, since I had been doing modeling since the age of 12. I had even done an Asian toys ad when I was 1 year old.
Oh,
So that obviously depicts the kind of support that I had from my family and the vision that they already had, the potential that they already saw in me, especially my mother. And so that obviously made the path easier for me, that I had support already. Then after, when I was 12 years old at that time, so since I was very young, my mother put me in every single field. I'm a professional dancer. I've gone to state skating hockey championship and modeling, art classes, everything. So at first, of course, I was very hesitant to open up in front of the camera, which is very normal being a teenager, a 12-year-old. And eventually, as I got out of my comfort zone, I did start liking being in front of the camera. I've always been a performer, always loved to be on stage. So eventually, I think when I got the most clarity was after I won Miss Teen India. That was the national level teen pageant.
wow.
Yes, so that is when I actually realized, okay, this is the path that I think I should pursue in my future, because I love to be on stage, love to, have a platform where I can put my opinions forward. And so, yes, I think after that, that was in 12th itself. So after that, I got a lot of clarity. So after that, I took up fashion communication as my course in Pole Academy. And I'm also doing psychology from Open Learning in DU, but that hasn't
Wow.
started yet.
Wow. So you're doing, two programs
Yes.
together at one point in time, apart from your modeling
Modeling.
career, and at the same time, you are participating in some of the international pageants as well.
Yes. So now I'll be going for in about 14 days, which is really freaks me out. But yes, so in about 14 days, I'll be going for Miss Teen of the Universe, which is an international pageant.
Lovely, lovely. So, you are taking, modeling and, beauty pageant as a full-time, focused approach. Uh, so when you thought about it that yes, after 12th, I want to take that up, as a
Hmm.
mainstream activity for next few years, at least to begin with. What were some of the preparations that were going on, at that point in time? And was it easy for you to convince your parents, like you said, that your mother was always, game. She was the one, in fact, who's been always encouraging you, and she's been supporting you, through and through. So, what were the preparations that went on?
So when we talk about my thought process, of course, it's very like it's a big myth that modeling and pageantry are not sustainable or reliable careers going
Absolutely.
forward.
Hmm.
But that is something I actually want to clarify
Yeah.
because I think there should be more awareness regarding the same.
Hmm.
So at first, of course, my thought process when I was a child, it was the same because of all the things that I've heard. But when I got into fashion industry, I realized how vast it is, how it has no foundations, and how, because my instructor, my mentor, Lakshmi Rana, she taught me basically. I had a pageant training course in Wilderby, and so in that she informed us about her journey, which really inspired me because she told me that she was basically in 2000 Miss India's competition where Priyanka Chopra was there as well. So she was in top 5, and even now she's still in the fashion industry. She has such a big name, and she's in fact teaching other students what exactly the modeling career, how to build it easily, how to go by it. So that just shows me that if you really want to, then anything is possible. And building a career in any field, of course, people go through their hardships, struggles, and you're going to face it in any career. And it's the same with modeling.
Great, yeah. So you are really busting a big myth around the modeling and, beauty pageants industry. You are saying that if you are uh, clear, if you are thorough, you are hardworking,
Hmm.
you are determined, focused approach towards building your career, it's a sustainable, stable, reliable, long-term career.
Definitely.
Fantastic, fantastic. So tell me, what were the first few steps taken by you to build this career?
It started when I was 12 years old. There was, of course, there were struggles, as I mentioned, and you don't know because, once again, even modeling as a career, it has its own hardships. So it's very hard to pinpoint what is genuine, what is not, which opportunity is genuine or not. Because since the very beginning, I've always just learned to take up any opportunity that I have, any opportunity that I can. It just it comes instantly to me to grab it. So that is what I have been doing for since I was 12, since I started the journey of modeling. But it also comes with this struggle that we don't know who is genuine. So eventually, when I tied up with Wilderby, I did, what happens is you start getting contracts, genuine
Assignments.
assignments. So that is where that helped me, of course.
So, what you're saying is that initially, for a lot of children, if
It,
they are not having the right modeling agency,
yeah.
contracted with, they may find some difficulty.
Just get in with the right people, after which your path gets a lot easier.
Okay. All right. So, once you have contracted with a great modeling agency, then you get onto a right pedestal and you start getting the right
Yeah,
assignments.
definitely.
Fantastic. So, still to be able to be, successful model, apart from getting a great modeling agency, what are the other things that children should keep in mind?
There is definitely this, as I mentioned, there is this myth that it's not reliable. So the first thing I would say is to ignore those external opinions and
Hmm.
those expectations that comes from society,
Hmm.
that okay, this what you're doing, because you're going to get a lot of opinions from your society, relatives, neighbors. You could get a lot of, because my own friends, as I mentioned earlier, that when we talk about choosing streams, there is a huge myth. a lot of my friends took up science because
Academically, they were doing really well.
yes,
Automatically, they were slotted that you should be picking up science
science,
only.
even though they were not interested in those subjects.
Correct.
And it's the same thing with modeling.
Hmm.
If you really know that this is your forte, it's possible. And if you have the grit and determination to just go for your goal, not let any external opinions change the way that you perceive your goal, that you perceive your aim,
Hmm.
then everything comes into place itself.
Right. Also, a lot of children look at it as a glamorous industry.
Yeah.
They believe that it's very rosy. It's full of fame,
Mhm.
glamour, money. I'm sure there's a flip side to it as well.
Yeah.
So just elaborate on that, please.
It is not exactly what it seems like from the outside. I am not going to say that I'm very experienced, because of course, I'm experienced. I've been in this industry since 6 years, since I was 12 years old, and I'm 17 years old right now. It's just the beginning. There's a lot still to experience. But definitely, when I talk about pageantry, we think that it's all about beauty, that it's all about glamour, but that is not just it. When we talk about pageantry, there is a lot that, depends on how you present yourself, how you are communicating your opinions, what kind of opinions that you have. So it's a lot about your personality. It's not
Yeah.
just about beauty, as people say, as people think.
Yeah, your thought process. And especially when you talk of the assignments, when you are doing the modeling assignment, I'm sure there's a lot of hard work going in.
Yeah.
There may be the final output and product is couple of very beautiful pictures.
Hmm.
But I'm sure that there's a lot of time and effort and hard work has gone in producing those two, three, four, five great stills to be put out there.
Definitely. I think more so because I have to manage so many things. When we talk about managing, there is like, I've always had to manage a lot of things, because even in school, I was doing professionally, I was dancing, then there was studies, academics, boards, then there were modeling assignments, there were pageants, and even right now it's even more hectic because it's college, and plus the same things. So it's very important to manage your time,
Hmm.
schedule the things accordingly. As I told you earlier, even on the way here, I was doing my assignment of my college. So it's just, of course, it's hard, but then I think that is where you grow.
Correct, correct. But it's a lot of hard work.
It is, definitely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So tell me, where do you see yourself from here?
From here, I believe that the reason I'm here, the reason I am in this industry itself, and I want to be a part of it going in the future, is because I truly feel that I have the will to inspire constantly.
Beautiful.
Like I feel like being on stage is, it's not just about fame or glamour or just because money, wealth, but it's mainly for me because I get to communicate my opinions, I get to help out, and that is a big, huge reason of why I'm here today, or why I am interested in pageants or modeling in the first place.
Hmm. So if you have to see yourself for next 10 to 15 years, how is the journey looking like?
I think there are going to be a lot of ups and downs because that's what life is about. But I think if you have the will to just face it hard on, because you're going to hit rock bottoms, but to be able to have the courage to get right back up is
Hmm.
very important.
Hmm.
And if we talk about 10 years from now, I think I definitely view myself going, because after Miss Teen of the Universe, the pageant that I'm going to after this, after that I'll become an adult, I'll turn 18, and then I'll be going for Miss India. So it all depends on how life plays on to that. And but I believe I'm just going to grab all the opportunities that come my way, try to make the best out of it.
I'm sure. I'm sure. So you have the next step very clear in your mind that
Yeah.
after this pageant, it's going to be Miss India pageant, and at the same time, you see yourself as a great successful model in the coming years on the billboards of some of the best brands and the biggest brands. Also, if you could tell the children that when it comes to signing up the assignments and signing up the contracts with the brands. What is the whole process? What kind of monies they can expect initially? Eventually what kind of graph you could see in the next 5 to 7 years. I know that you haven't seen it as yet, but since you are talking to so many people in the industry and you're working with people like Lakshmi Rana, uh, you would be having some clarity on that.
Yes, so I think on this topic, a lot of the part goes to my mother because she is actually constantly helps in managing everything together. And I am with Wilderbee right now. So I think when we talk about contracts or modeling agencies, the first step is to sort out the right ones. If you know that this agency is genuine and you know that going into this, they are not, because I think some amount of that earning that you receive out of the shoots goes to the agency as well. So it's very important to keep in mind that you are looking at, you're going into it because you know that it's going to profit you in some way, it's going to help you in some way, it's going to improve you, whether it's training, shoots, or your earnings. So yes, that's very important.
Great. And what kind of money, one can expect initially once you are, really starting and you're looking at the first few assignments?
When I started off, because of course I was not experienced, I was a kid, and when when you're starting off, there is also some amount that you have to give. So for making portfolios or getting, good pictures of yourself, having a good portfolio in general, so that going forward different modeling agencies or you'll receive projects based off of your portfolio. So at first it's a lot of giving, and then eventually when you get better at it, slowly and gradually, but eventually you do start earning a small amount, then a larger amount. But it all again, it has to be very organic, it has to be very gradual.
Correct.
Yeah.
So having a portfolio is very, very important. A great portfolio, that's
Yes.
the investment you are doing into your career. Still, if you could give us some figures, what could be the, least money that you could expect from the first few assignments?
When you're just starting off and you are like a complete fresher, you just got in your portfolio, I think first few shoots go when you are just experiencing, you don't get some amount for it. But eventually when you're experienced, I think some figure between 1 to 10K. So slowly that is where it starts. 1 to 5K, 5 to 10K, that is where it starts. Eventually after that, of course, there's a lot of room to grow.
Right, right, right. And also, if you talk about that, how important it is to have your parents' support and what role your parents play
Hmm.
when you pick up careers like these, which are unconventional, still they are considered unconventional.
Hmm.
And, some of the parents may not approve of, career choices like these.
The most important, at least personally, what I believe, it's the most important thing to have your parents' support. Because without it, even if the child does want to just ignore the society's expectations or the things that their neighbors or their relatives expect of them, it's very hard to get anywhere without it. Because for me personally, my mother has supported me so much
Mm.
that in fact she saw my potential. She knew that I was going to pursue this field before I did. When I was 12, of course I was hesitant in front of the camera, as I mentioned, and I wasn't sure that this was going to be something, if it's just an activity, just a hobby,
Mm.
or something that I'm going to pursue going forward in my life. But she already knew. She could always see that I am a stage person, I'm a performer, I love to be in front of the camera, and I saw it later than her.
Wow.
So yeah, so definitely she has been more supportive than I could ever imagine, and that has definitely played a huge role based on, where I am today, why I'm here today.
So think of a life if you had a different set of parents and your parents are not approving of it. How difficult would it be for you to convince them of a career choice like this?
I think that is actually something that a lot of kids face
Right.
even today. And if we're not even talking about modeling, if we're talking about just stream, for example,
Mm.
so many of my friends took up the wrong stream just because their parents compare them with their neighbor's child, their relative's child.
Hmm.
And because of this comparison, because of lack of support, neither did they choose the subjects they were interested in, nor are they able to do good in what they had to choose. And of course, that impacts the growth that the child will have further in
Absolutely,
their life.
absolutely. That impacts the overall, development of a child.
Definitely.
Very well said. Very well said, Bache. Also, Mehak, if you can, give us what are some of the very basic skill sets or competencies that you believe a child must have if one is looking at modeling as a mainstream career.
Some skill sets that a person should have if they're looking at modeling. I think, firstly, of course, communication. Communication, if your communication is intact, then it doesn't matter. We are taught when we are given pageant training that it doesn't matter what you say, it matters how you say it. So that actually plays a huge role. It doesn't matter if you can't think of an answer, but if you're still confident while saying it, the other person might not even notice.
I must share this with you that, in a communication, what you say only plays 4 to 7%
Yeah,
of a role, and 94% is how
how
you
you
say
say
it.
it. Exactly.
Yeah. So, very well said.
Yes,
Hmm.
and other things, one would definitely be confidence. That is actually part of what I just mentioned. There is your stage presence, the way that you present yourself on stage, which, for of course, it takes some time to build up confidence, but stage presence is something that a person could work on just walking in the hallway, just having your chin lifted up, having a huge confidence in your face, in your walk. That is something that is very important when we talk about modeling. And of course, lastly but not least, there is determination.
Hmm.
As I've been saying all this while, it's very important to not let external opinions come in the way of your goals. That is the most important thing when we talk about any, in fact, even becoming a dancer, people are going to say things. If it's modeling, you're going to hear a lot of opinions. But it's
Hmm.
very important to make your path clear, believe in yourself, because otherwise, of course, no one else is going to be believing in you as well.
Absolutely. How important do you believe is physical fitness, being fit, being in shape, would be to be a successful model?
So, of course, slowly the modeling industry is also becoming very vast. We are slowly and gradually becoming vast as to accepting different body types. But if I'm going to be totally honest, it does play a huge role. Till now, at least in pageants, it still does. Though there are a few pageants, like we are becoming vast, as in we have Mrs. India now, we have pageants for older people, for younger people,
For all sizes.
for all sizes. But I think it's a gradual process. Eventually, our modeling industry, our pageant industry is going towards that way, and eventually it is going to happen. But till now, I think there is still a bit of uncertainty there. There is still importance of your physical fitness, especially the way that you represent yourself, of course. But yes, it does play a role till now.
Lovely. And how are you looking at taking your education forward along with the pageantry and modeling assignments?
I think education is the most important thing. Whether I am able to become a successful model or not, that is something that plays a huge role in, even if I take up modeling as my career. Because I think education is the key to everything. If I am educated about not just academics, for that matter, just in general, if I have general knowledge about things, it just expands so much, not only vocabulary, but like just a whole new chapter for you. It's easier to talk, it's easier to communicate, relate, and it just makes not only just just to earn, but also in general, it's very important to be educated.
Lovely. Thank you so very much for talking to us. Wish you all the best. Loads
Thank
of
you.
success.
Thank you so much.